Skylanders Trap Team, the fourth game in the Skylanders franchise and probably the one with the most bugs and glitches. Hello everyone, hope you're all doing amazing today. My name is Mr. Hero and welcome back to Skylanders Trap Team. So today is the 10th anniversary of Skylanders Trap Team. You're probably wondering, wait, hold on a minute, that was a couple days ago. But in the EU, it released on the 10th of October, aka today. So that's why I posted this video a little bit later, just for the EU release. So in today's video is basically just like a little basic overview of Trap Team, including the gameplay, difficulty, the bosses, maybe some of the glitches as well, I'll talk about those, and also go into a little bit about the speedrun side of things. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy this video. So let's start off with the story. Once again, Chaos is back at it again and has destroyed Cloudcracker Prison, which was holding some of the most dangerous villains in all of Skylands, aka the Doom Raiders. These Doom Raiders were led by Golden Queen, and they are a fierce group. And it's up to the Trap Masters to actually sort them out. Of course, you can use any Skylander, but I definitely recommend using a Trap Master just to make it feel more part of the story, if you know what I mean. Also, Buzz opened up a Skylanders Academy. And I believe this is the first time you meet Buzz as well. But he's opened up a Skylanders Academy for the future of Skylanders. And the Academy itself looks amazing. It definitely has some of the best hub world music. Like, I love it. Like, it's playing right now, I believe, so have a little listen. Is that enough to know it's absolutely amazing? I hope so. But with that, that's pretty much the whole story. You go around beating these Doom Raiders and trying to trap them, which also adds the new mechanic to the game. Traptanium Portal. You can buy these little things called traps of each element, and when you put the trap in, you can actually capture your villains. And that also means you can also play as your villains, even though they have a little timer instead of a health bar. Except if you're using Chaos, you can just use the magic elements orb to keep the timer going longer. But with that being said, let's move on to the next category. Next, let's talk about the difficulty. Yeah, if you haven't watched my streams from when I actually streamed Nightmare Mode of this game, I think that will give your answer straight away. Long story short, Skylanders Trap Team is probably the hardest game in the franchise. For sure. Not because of the glitches, but the difficulty, this game can get really hard at times and makes you leave thinking, like, is this even possible? Especially when you get to Golden Queen and you try to use a melee Skylander. If you try and do that, it's basically impossible to do that. I'm not even exaggerating. If you're using a melee Skylander for Golden Queen, you are not winning. You will not win. So, word of advice, don't use a melee Skylander for Golden Queen. Use a ranged Skylander. Wallop, I think, has a ranged attack with his hammers, so I guess he could be fine. And Eon's Elite Whirlwind as well, which I'll get onto later. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next category. Now let's talk about the main theme of this game, the bosses. There is at least one boss in every single chapter of this game. Even chapter 1, even the chapters that you wouldn't think have villains, they do. Every single chapter has at least one boss to beat. And it's optional to beat them, but on my Nightmare playthrough, I did want to beat every single villain, which I did. Also working on getting all the evolutions as well, even though some of the evolutions look really ugly. And I'd rather it if they added an option where you can have them evolve but leave the original design, because that's really made them who they are. So let's go over some of the most iconic bosses in Trap Team. Starting off, I think you all know where we're going. Starting off with the most iconic the most iconic boss of Trap Team, Chill Bill. Chill Bill became a meme. I think it was early this year or last year. It was either early this year or late last year. Chill Bill became a massive meme, which definitely boosted the popularity of Skylanders. Even CG5 himself made a little song about it. And then after that, it just slowly declined out. But the Chill Bill meme will always live. So the next one is Dr. Crankcase, which is my favourite villain of the game. In my personal opinion, I love Dr. Crankcase. Especially his music. Have a listen. There you go. That was my main reason why Crankcase was my favourite villain. Out of all of Skylanders Trap Team, Dr. Crankcase is and always will be my favourite. And when I found out he came out as a sensei in Skylanders Imaginators, you knew I was picking him up real quick. But I think one of the main thing is, like, with the Doom Raiders, they have really good music when you actually put them into the game. So why not use that music for their actual boss fight? That's all I'm thinking, like, why not use it for their actual boss fight? Because it will make it more entertaining. Well, actually, there are some with, like, really light tunes, and having light tunes when fighting against the boss may not be the best thing. Let's just say that. Might not be the best thing, just to have very gentle, calm tunes whilst you're risking your life against a boss. I can imagine doing that. That would actually be quite funny. I might actually try that. Just give it a shot. Just put on who is it? I think it's Buzzerbeak. I think Buzzerbeak has a really chill, laid-back soundtrack. So I think just go up against Chaos and listen to Buzzerbeak. I think that would be quite fun. But anyway, let's move on to the next category. So now we're going to talk about how the older Skylanders were utilised in this game. So if you played the Chaos Doom challenges, you'll see that sometimes you'll need a giant to break open a turret for you. Which is really cool that they added a little thing for giants, just so they know that they're not forgotten. And including some of the older Skylanders as well. Like, they had that damage booster up. For some reason it was like multiplied, but if you mark it down, it's just okay damage at best. But who peaked the most out of all of the old Skylanders? In my opinion, Thornhorn Camo is the Skylander that peaked the most. Using the Wow Pow with the melons, absolutely insane damage. Like, honestly, like, the damage was, wow. Absolutely insane. And you can also argue Eon's Elite Whirlwind, who is literally the best Eon's Elite, who does absolutely ridiculous damage with the clouds. So word of advice, the cloud path on Whirlwind is the best path out of all the games, unless you're using Series 3 Whirlwind. Then I'd make an exception and go up the rainbow path. But other than that, it's the cloud path. So with that, let's get on to the final category of this video, where we'll be talking a little bit more about the speedrun strategies. So before I start this next part, I want to give a massive thank you to Speedrunner Cartman. If you don't know who that is, he is the world record holder for Skylanders Trap Team. And he hooked me up with a lot of speedrun tricks, and I've got to say, I really appreciate his help. Because if it wasn't for him, since I have never done a Trap Team speedrun myself, it would be quite difficult for me to actually explain it. So first off, we're going to start off by talking about one of the easier glitches, which is the swap force jump. That's what I'm going to call it, the swap force double jump. So this is definitely one of the easiest speedrun glitches. Basically what you want to do is swap into a villain and then jump, swap back, jump again. It's weird because this only works with swap force Skylanders. So don't try it with any other Skylanders. It only works if you have a swap force Skylander. For example, I'm using Rattle Rise, and you need a villain. It can be any villain. I've just chosen Sheep Creep because it was the only trap I could actually find. So there you go. That is the swap force double jump. So next up, I want to talk about the Hoodsicle dash. So this clip from Speedrunner Cartman just shows how broken Hoodsicle can be. Hoodsicle is a very speedy Skylander, and if you want to speedrun Skylanders Trap Team, you need Hoodsicle and Chaos trapped. You need those two more than any other, because those are the two, Chaos for the damage and Hoodsicle for the speed glitches. It's weird because like how the dash just instantly just goes off, even though that's not normally supposed to happen, but it just goes to show how broken this game actually is. So the final glitch I want to talk about is the Chompy Mountain Warp. So basically what you want to do, you want to wait until Flynn's ship gets about here. And then what you want to do is pause the game and then put a trap into the portal. I don't know if it has to be Chaos, but this is the example. So Chaos goes in, and as you see here, skip cutscene, and then you just fall right onto the arena and skip Bruiser Cruiser and pretty much the whole chapter. So that's a pretty interesting warp there. So with that being said, that is going to be all from me. Thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you to Speedrunner Cartman for hooking me up with a lot of information about Trap Team speedrunning. This category would not have been possible without your help, so I really appreciate it. But that being said, this is Mr. Hero signing out. Have a good one, everyone.